When Rick initially arrives at the CRM base in Philadelphia, he is promptly discovered by Jadis. She reveals that before rescuing him during the bridge explosion, she collaborated with the CRM to trade goods and resources for individuals they considered valuable, identifying survivors who could be beneficial, as well as those viewed as potential threats. She would deliver them, similar to what she did with Rick. The CRM has an ambitious 500-year strategy to revive humanity, a goal she fervently believes they can achieve. Additionally, she informs Rick of her determination to advance in the organization's hierarchy. After Rick's rescue following the helicopter crash, Thorne discovers him distressed by Okafor's death. Rick implores her to advocate for Michonne, the woman who saved him, to remain with them. Reluctantly and without justification, Thorne agrees. We then shift back to Jadis confronting Rick in his quarters after encountering Michonne. It is evident that she is ready to resort to violence against Rick's people back home should he and Michonne try to escape. She emphasizes that even if they manage to flee, the CRM will relentlessly pursue them. Jadis demonstrates her intelligence by having a contingency plan in place, a concealed file containing all of Rick's secrets and his family's whereabouts. If he were to eliminate her, he would still suffer the consequences. She is adamant about not allowing them to depart, as the CRM prioritizes security and secrecy above all else. Jadis informs Rick that he poses no individual threat, but together with Michonne, they become an unstoppable duo. In this scenario, Michonne, under the alias Dana, is now engaged in consignment work at the CRM base, dressed in their uniform and efficiently dispatching walkers. She crosses paths with another consignee named Cleo, who is impressed by Michonne's skills in dealing with the undead. Rick and Michonne only catch glimpses of each other as they navigate the base. Simultaneously, a somber funeral is conducted for Okafor, with Major Beale delivering a eulogy in his memory. It becomes evident that Okafor held great sway within the community. As Rick and Thorne depart, she reveals to Rick that Okafor rescued her when she was on the brink of death on an abandoned cruise ship. He presented her with the choice of joining him or facing certain death. Rick begins to grasp the depth of Thorne's loyalty to Okafor, a loyalty not easily forgotten. Their conversation is interrupted by Beale, who presents Rick with a martial arts book previously owned by Okafor. While Okafor may have had faith in Rick and Thorne, Beale expresses doubt. He openly voices his uncertainties about their allegiances, contrasting Okafor's beliefs with his own apprehensions. In the subsequent events, Thorne pays Rick a visit in his quarters that evening, brimming with exhilarating news of her recent promotion to act as Beale's command. She emphasizes the unrestricted access she now possesses, including the enigmatic echelon briefing. Thorne entrusts Rick with overseeing logistics at the newly established operational base they have been developing. However, amidst the jubilation, Thorne issues a cautionary warning to Rick. She underscores that any actions undertaken by Dana will be a direct reflection on her now. Evidently, Dana's prowess and valor have not gone unnoticed, categorizing her as a persona. It becomes apparent that Thorne's allegiance to the CRM has never been more resolute than it is at this moment. Once Thorne departs, Rick retrieves hidden maps and supplies from his quarters, stashing them away discreetly. As the region experiences disruptions and chaos escalates, Rick acknowledges that the window for escape is swiftly closing in. However, his departure is not imminent, indicating that his plans diverge from the impending escape unfolding around him. The next day, Rick covertly passes a note to Michonne, detailing their planned escape that very night. He conceals a key and her sword, essential for their departure, within the message. As night falls, Rick diligently paves the way through the tunnels, while Michonne follows suit in her preparations. Rick arranges for a canoe for Michonne's getaway and leaves behind another note for her. However, to ensure her successful escape, he informs Michonne that he will not be accompanying her. In a poignant twist, Rick disguises a walker in CRM attire, fabricating the appearance that Michonne perished during her bid for freedom. In his heartfelt plea penned in the note, Rick implores Michonne to seize the opportunity to flee, elucidating that his sacrifice is imperative to safeguard her freedom. Torn between loyalty to Rick and the allure of liberty, Michonne contemplates the weight of her decision as she gazes upon the note. The following day, Rick feels a sense of relief. He locates Jadis and informs her that Michonne has disappeared. Rick reassures Jadis that there is no need to search for Michonne since leading the investigation herself would dispel any suspicions. However, Jadis remains unconvinced, and rightfully so. Rick returns to the base, only to be shocked to find Michonne still present. Upon their eventual conversation, Michonne is enraged at the mere suggestion of her leaving without him. During an orientation day, she explores the city and encounters a stall operated by an artist who specializes in etchings. It dawns on her that this artist is the one who created the drawings of her and Michonne that Rick had left behind. This discovery brings a spark of hope back into Michonne's heart. Later on, Thorn, Rick, and Michonne engage in a conversation. Thorn proceeds to question Michonne, attempting to assess the level of threat she poses. Tensions rise as Thorn appears ready to eliminate Michonne if she utters something disagreeable. Thankfully, Thorn eventually reaches a decision and concludes that Michonne could prove to be valuable. In fact, Thorn plans to enlist Michonne's help alongside Rick in preparing the new base for the upcoming summit in a few days. The trio embarks on a helicopter journey to the new base. Thorn explains that the border is infested with walkers, and their primary objective is to clear the area before the summit. With all CRM leaders in attendance, there is no margin for error. Thorn instructs Michonne to follow closely behind as she navigates through an explosive device. Despite Thorn's struggle, Michonne's clear instructions were to not take any action. However, Michonne, being who she is, disregards the orders and charges forward to deal with the walkers, using the device to kill the undead in her path. Rick eventually joins her, and together they position the device before running away as it detonates, eliminating a horde of walkers. Alone together, they share a kiss. While Michonne considers fleeing, Rick insists that they must remain. Reuniting with the group and facing Thorn's anger over Michonne's defiance, a moment of tension arises as Thorn prepares to shoot her. In a protective gesture, Rick steps in between them. That evening, Thorn confronts Rick, informing him that whether he agrees or not, Beale will brief him, and he is destined to climb the ranks. Rick also has an unexpected encounter with Jadis, who has been stationed at the summit base leading up to the major event. Michonne's confusion escalates upon seeing Jadis as well. Realizing that their hidden truths may soon come to light, Rick decides to take Michonne back to Philadelphia. Frustrated, he admits to her that their relationship is now broken beyond repair. Michonne is visibly devastated by Rick's emotional state. She refuses to give up easily. While flying back to the city with Rick in a helicopter, they get trapped in a fierce storm. Amidst the rain and thunder enveloping the helicopter, she faces a tough choice. Holding Rick close, she bravely opens the door and leaps with him into the turbulent storm.